Okay, I need to see. Hello, everybody. How's everything going? Let's see. I should be in all the channels, but the biggest question is, can anybody hear me? LinkedIn. Let's see what we've got on LinkedIn. Sorry, guys. I know I keep on going live for 1 or 2 minutes to work on one or two things, but obviously I'm busy trying to confirm a few things, but I'm sort of ready to make sure that I can respond to anybody that might be there. Is there anybody that can hear me? If you can hear me, please let me know. I'm hoping that somebody can actually hear me. So let's see, where are we now? Okay, I see there's a comment somewhere. Yay! Hello Yvonne, how are you, my friend? Testing my eCam live, and it's great to actually see some other people in this call, which is quite nice. No, hello, how are you? It's good to see you here as well. That is fantastic. Yeah, okay, actually, since everybody can hear me, I think it would be nice to just test this out and see, is there any questions that any of you guys have got that you'd like me to quickly answer? Because I think I keep on going on this channel and putting out these 2 seconds videos without answering some of the questions. Anything that you guys would like to ask me? As I always say, I'm a recruiter. And yeah, this might be a chance for people to actually ask any questions that they might have, that they might need clarity on. I know this is not a scheduled, what's this thing? It's not a scheduled session. I will have a scheduled session probably on Thursday or Friday this week. So this is still going to happen. It's just today would be great to just see if anybody's got any questions that they might want me to talk about. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. What field do you recruit on? So I currently look after mostly tech. I work for a tech company at the moment, which is looking after real estate. It's looking after the general marketplaces. It's also looking after quite a few other areas within the business side of things. So if you're looking about e-commerce type of environment, that's where my team and I are actually working in. And then any recruiters that you know around Polokwane, unfortunately not. A lot of recruiters that I know are based in Johannesburg, not Polokwane specifically, but the ones that are in Johannesburg do normally also recruit in Polokwane. So I'm not quite sure if I could refer you to anybody specific at the moment. I'm based in Switzerland at the moment, just for anybody that might be asking any questions about that. So I'm excited that this is actually working, because I was very worried that it might not work. So which is fun, which is much fun, and I'm glad that I'm seeing comments coming from YouTube as well. That is fantastic. It's a big win for me. It's a big win, giant leap for mankind on my side. Any other questions that I could maybe address with you guys while I'm still here? Obviously, I want to be here for the next 5, 6, 7 minutes. It'll be nice to actually hear if any of you guys got any questions that you'd like to ask. What's an unattractive CV or candidate for you? I don't think it's a question of unattractive from a CV point of view. It's what's a CV that's normally not looked at by most people. One of the things that we currently have when it comes to CVs that are considered to be not necessarily unattractive, or the CVs that do not always get the right kind of response from recruiters, are normally CVs where you'll find that the information that you're trying to communicate to the recruiter doesn't make sense. That's one. Secondly, one of the biggest things that I've seen on CVs is an unreasonably long CV that honestly you can't explain why it's actually that long. That's the second one that normally recruiters don't actually look at that much. A CV that doesn't highlight exactly what skills you currently have, that's a unattractive CV, because in most cases you'll find that recruiters have got, let's say, about 20 to 30 roles that they're working on. And if they have to spend 30 seconds, or if they have to spend, 10 minutes just trying to find information, they tend to just sometimes give up on that information, and some candidates end up being declined. So if the CV doesn't necessarily communicate what you'd like to communicate, that's unfortunate in most cases. And then when it comes to candidates themselves, I wouldn't say there's any unattractive candidate from a requirement point of view. I think what normally happens differently from a candidate point of view is that candidates that do not necessarily able to address the specific questions, candidates that answer what they think you want to hear, which doesn't always work. It's always very, very unfortunate, because you then lose out on the opportunity for people to actually know exactly what you're capable of offering. So I would say it's very important from a candidate point of view is there's free platforms, especially because I know there's this question that Kariso just asked. There's a free platform that I always refer people to. It's called canva.com. Canva spelled CANVA.com. It literally has very simple templates, and you'll find that a lot of these guys that charge you to create CVs for them normally use the exact same platform. There's a lot of CV templates that you can use there to just use up your resume so that it actually looks quite nice. And you need to do quite a lot of research as a candidate. And then Nunuf was like, she wants to relocate from Botswana. Can I help? Unfortunately, I'm not a relocation agent, it's very difficult to be able to deal with that. I wouldn't be able to even know where to start. Relocation is a very tricky task. But in one of my videos that I've actually written or that I've actually done, I think sometime last year, I did top 10 things to consider before you relocate. Maybe check out that video. You just have to search for Tshidi Khunou on YouTube, and you should be able to find that video. So check out that video. It should be able to give you a rough guideline of what you need to actually worry about. And then Yvonne, I am very good, my friend. I am very good. As you can see, I'm still alive, still trying to survive. And then there's a LinkedIn user that just says, keep on enabling and empowering members. Great connect. Thank you so much, man. I mean, that is really great to actually hear somebody say something like that. So I think I need to actually make sure that I keep on doing these videos. And as I said, partly what I want to try and do is every week to go through some session. And I have a plan in the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks to do a CV live on my show, like where I can actually go live. We're gonna try and run a little competition to get 1 or 2 people's CVs, and then we're gonna put it together and work on a CV that we can actually make sure that we use going forward. So I'll put together something, and as soon as it's ready, I'll have it on my LinkedIn page, and we will probably pick 1 or 2 CVs that we can literally all create together, and you guys can ask questions. And then for some of the people that are asking questions about canva.com, I've got another video about canva.com as well. It's on my page as well. So just search for Tshidi Khunou. You should be able to see the canva.com video there. And then job recruiters in Johannesburg, there's actually quite a lot. I mean, some of the companies I can think of, you can look at Afrizen, which is one of the companies that side. There is quite a few companies in Johannesburg that you can reach out to that are recruitment agencies. And you can even type recruitment agencies in Johannesburg on Google, and you'll find the ones that are normally searched for the most. You'll find quite a lot of them at the top of that search list, and then you can just send them an email to just try and get these guys onto your side. And then the other thing, Nono says, I'm sitting on my laptop ready to send out my CV to recruiters. That is fantastic, Nono. That's what we want to hear. And yes, Yvonne, it's always great to actually see you. And then the website link, it's canva.com. It's canva.com. So that's the website that you guys can check out. It's got a lot of templates. They're not paying me to say these things. It's just that I've realized that it's the one website that gives you quite a lot of very simple to use templates, and all you have to do is just copy and paste some of this. And the other advice I'd like to give you guys when it comes to putting together your CV is try and make sure that you reduce your bullet points to at least 5 to 6. Anything more than 6 or 7 bullet points just becomes an overkill. There's just way too many bullet points. So reduce those and make sure that it's 5 or 6 bullet points maximum. And then try and actually be able to use that. There's a few tools that you can also use to make sure that your CV always ranks like at the top. In our next session, I will show you guys how to use those tools so that you'll be able to make sure that you use the tools to find the exact skills that the different jobs are looking for. But you should only put the skills that you've actually got. So please don't put skills just because the job is looking for that. And then the other thing is a lot of recruiters view my LinkedIn profile but don't follow up. How can I improve it? So another video, this is a shameless, what is it called? Shameless what? Yeah, shameless whatever. So I've got another video about working on your LinkedIn profile that I've got. And I think what will also be quite nice will probably be in the future, I'll also put together a nice video that we can actually work on a LinkedIn profile together. So Karuso, please keep on checking out my LinkedIn page. We should be able to start doing that. And also the trick behind one of the questions that you've just asked, to say some of the recruiters actually keep on checking my LinkedIn profile but they don't do anything. There are times when a recruiter actually checks your LinkedIn profile. For me, it's because you have appeared based on a specific search that they've had, where you'll find that maybe your name appeared because they found something specific in your profile and they wanted to read a bit more. So what I would advise you guys to do is to say, number one is try and make sure that you highlight what skills you have on your LinkedIn profile, because that is very, very important. Your skills are key because that's what the guys will use to actually search. Secondly, on the same aspect about your LinkedIn, if a recruiter has already looked at your profile, sometimes there's nothing wrong with you just reaching out to them and saying, hey, listen, I saw you looked at my profile yesterday or an hour ago or 2 hours ago. Is there anything specific that you were looking at that I could maybe help you with? Because this is what my experience is, and let's maybe chat. And you'll find that sometimes it makes things a lot easier for the recruiters and they're more likely to actually respond. So it's okay to reach out to them if they've looked at your profile, because that means they saw something that they might have actually been looking for. And then Betty says there are lots, but some of them are not very helpful. Yeah, some of them are not very helpful, but what you can try and do is to look at what they specialize in, the specific area that they actually specialize in, because some of the companies do not always specialize in just about everything. They specialize in a specific field. So do always ask, if you do speak to them, to ask them what area do they specialize in, so that you've got a specific contact that you can actually speak to. And then there's another LinkedIn user that says, currently most of the interviews are done remote, online. This makes the first impressions a little bit different than before pandemic. What are the 3 advices that we could improve online videos? Shameless plug. Yes, that's the word. Shameless plug. I've done another video about virtual interviews, on how to actually make sure that you've got the best virtual interviews possible. Now, one of the things that I'm going to do is, so I currently have studio lights, as I was mentioning when I started this this live chat, is this is just literally to test, because I recently got Ecamm Live and I wanted to test 1 or 2 things to see how it basically works. However, what I always advise people is, when it comes to situations where you're actually dealing with virtual interviews, so there's a few things that you guys will realize right now. Right now at the moment, I've got a slight window behind me that's slightly closed. The reason why I've closed it a bit is because if you actually open those blinds, the light behind me ends up competing with the camera light. The second thing that you will see is that there's a bit of a light that's coming from the side of my face here. In most cases, I will turn and face that so that the light is actually facing me. It helps you make sure that the camera that you're using doesn't struggle with showing your facial features and showing who you are. So that's why I always say, when it comes to virtual interviews, make sure that number one, you test the system and you make sure that the systems that you're going to be using are working. Number two, also make sure that you're always facing the window. Never have the window behind you, because every time you have the window behind you, the camera is competing with the light behind you. So that's why that window that's behind me is actually slightly closed. And always make sure that you're actually facing that light. And if it is anywhere possible, make sure that you've got headphones on, because they normally tend to assist a bit better when it comes to the sound that comes out, and people can hear you a bit clearer. So that would be my top 3 advices to say: close the back window if you have any, or never have the window behind you. 2, make sure that you use a microphone, and third thing, make sure that your face is facing the window. So if I look at, you can actually see through my glasses that there's a very bright light that's here, that's actually coming from the other side. Sorry. Okay. As I mentioned, guys, this was literally just a test. Thank you so much for joining me. There are a few things that I'll be working on. I'm currently working for my microphone that will help me a lot better to make sure that from a sound quality, everything is top notch and you guys can hear me properly. And then I can also do things like wait, let me do this. I hope you guys can hear that. Those are some of the sound effects. So there'll be quite a lot of cool things that I'll be doing. But yeah, as I mentioned, I'm really looking forward to engaging with you guys a bit further. We will then tackle some of the specific questions that you guys have got in the next session that I'll be scheduling going forward. And yeah, man, looking forward to literally working with you guys. It's been absolutely fantastic chatting to you. And Elias, we will be in touch. Lokutabo will be in touch. Olebren will be in touch. Thank you so much, guys. A 5-minute session turned into a 17 minutes conversation. And yeah, we'll be in touch, and we'll make sure that I share as much as we can.